Hello, everybody. Hello, America. This is a special episode. Conspiracy Truth Paranoia is my channel. Again, still very new. I'm an American citizen. My grandpa was in World War II. My dad was in Vietnam. Army, both of them. Grandpa got a Purple Heart. My dad did great things in Vietnam for this country. I love this country. And I really love everyone in this country. And I love the people that come here and love our country back. I love immigrants. My grandpa was from Sweden. My grandma was from Norway. I wouldn't be here. They came over here. Okay, but the last 4 years, and I think we can all agree on this, most of us, because I have friends Hispanic from Mexico, I have friends from Puerto Rico, I have friends from Guatemala. I've talked to all types of different backgrounds, different cultures, different religions. And one thing is for sure. A lot of people are very, very, very concerned about the last 4 years under Joe Biden. What was allowed to happen, I don't think people still don't grasp this. We've been told, roughly 8 to 10 million people have come across our border within the last 4 years. Trump will say it's anywhere probably about up to 24, 25 million. I truly do believe that that number is probably correct. Now I am a Trump supporter, but I'm an America supporter, okay? And I don't focus on what Trump says. I focus on what the man does. All right? I would rather have somebody confident, maybe a little cocky, but a man that knows business and knows how to make moves and knows how to create success for our country, for everybody in America. So this whole deal with hating this man, I just don't get it. What difference does it make if you have a guy like Biden saying all these weak little sweet things and politically correct words if the man's not even protecting your country? I mean, not even trying to stop known gangs and terrorists that are coming into our country. Known. This is known stuff. And he didn't do anything. Crime is out of control. Americans were left behind completely. And this is like right when we were still in a pandemic. And so, my question is why can people not see the fact that Trump does love us? Somebody that obviously wants to protect our border immediately to get things under control, as opposed to Biden, who wanted to continue to keep letting it happen to us while we're in a pandemic. And so, I want to bring up something more serious, and it's the protests on our college campuses. This is what got me worried. Okay, we know a whole lot of people came across our border. It's proven that known terrorists have come in. I've even heard podcasts where people that do this for a living, and they know for a fact that there's 10,000 jihadists, terrorists in our country. For a fact, they know that. Which is basically like Al-Qaeda. It's a Muslim Brotherhood alliance, in a sense. A bunch of them gathering together. But what gets me really, really worried is when I look at the protests, the Palestinian movement, it looks very similar to another protest we had back in 2020. the BLM riots. And now the picture you're looking at here is, of course, the Palestinian ones, where they were all at these college campuses. Okay, they're building barriers. They have hammers. They're breaking into the buildings. And it's almost like they're testing and seeing and experimenting how far, they can push this before something happens. And so, as you can see, smashed windows, stacked furniture left. This is when they barricaded themselves in, I believe. Which is just crazy that it happened. And then they weren't even arrested. Biden was still in power. And so now Trump is trying to get these people out of here, okay, that are doing this. And some of them aren't even in the school. But they're choosing these colleges. So now the question I want to tell you is remember the BLM riots? They looked just like this, okay? They look just like this, okay? Here we go, right here. Look, we got the masks again. The Palestinian thing, they got the wrap around their head. Even still, some were wearing masks, COVID masks. But the BLM riots, they were all wearing masks too. So here we go with the signs, the large gatherings, the masks, and then just tons of people there. My fear is that this is being built up to a point where I have a feeling that there's a lot of people, possibly politicians, that want to see another BLM riot in 2020. Once the riot starts, whoever started it, there's going to be opportunists that come jumping in, right? People that are like, oh, I'm going to go and get involved in this because maybe I can run into a Gucci store and grab, 10 bags, or maybe I can run into a jewelry store. Maybe I can run into, whatever, and maybe I can come up on a car or anything. And so it starts out with the groups that are organized, right? They're probably paid, of course, and we're figuring that out, that they are, a lot of them. So, and then, be it that they're at the school, so they're around a lot of young, adrenaline-filled kids that are just looking for something, some kind of action. Okay, so, follow me here. Just keep following me here, okay? So, what sparked the BLM one, right? We had a martyr, in a sense, okay? A martyr. So, we had somebody that represented the actual match, the actual ignition to the big fire, and that was George Floyd. Granted, yes, what happened to him is definitely a sad story. We did find out that he was had a criminal past, and we did find out that he was consuming a good amount of drugs. So there is some say that possibility, along with the cops' actions, kind of a bad scenario led to the death. And so the media had their face, okay, the face for who then created this explosion, okay, that then burnt down cities. Minneapolis, was burnt down. Like, literally, Minneapolis was basically just destroyed completely. Chicago, looting stores everywhere, breaking in, people running out with clothes and boxes and pulling their cars up and just in and out, absolute chaos. Alright, so now we have the Palestinian movement now. Same thing, masks on the face, big, large groups. People are getting angry, violent, pushing the limits. Alright. I feel like that the media tried to find their next person to ignite. I feel like they want another BLM riot, except with Palestinians. So I feel like Mahmoud Khalil was probably one of those people that they were hoping would ignite this flame further. Regardless, he still is a face of this, okay, so the fire is still burning, okay? The fire is still burning. So my big fear here is throw in the defund the police movement, throw in the fact that crime is so rampant, and a lot of people don't even call the police in big cities that are having crime problems because they don't even, they just know the police either they're not going to show up for an hour, so why call? You get robbed or something and you call the police and you'll wait there for what, an hour? Then they get there and then what? You tell them they went that way? I mean, so a lot of people aren't reporting these crimes right away when they're happening, and even if they did, oh, what was the person wearing? A black hoodie, black mask, in a black car. I don't know, or didn't have a car. So, but here's where I'm really, really worried, okay? We know we have a lot of people in this country that we do not know who they are. Millions. 2 million gotaways for sure, that we don't know who they are. Gotaways are people that ran from Border Patrol, ran and made sure they did not enter like the other people that entered illegally with the big long lines of people that, because those people were at least like, hey, give me your name and information about them. But those people that turned themselves into Border Patrol were given all this free stuff. So the people that didn't want all that free stuff, that's scary that at least 2 million of them said, I don't want the free housing, free car, free phone, free that. Maybe I'm here for something different and I don't want to be known. I don't want them to know who I am. 2 million. Okay? And then 20 million people, that's 20 San Franciscos. So imagine 20 San Franciscos coming across our border, okay? That's a lot. But 2 million gotaways that we have known nothing about, and that's just that they counted. It could be 4 million gotaways for all we know. Okay, how many people does it take to start a war? What, 10,000? Maybe 100. It takes one. But just imagine if even 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 of those 2 million were a part of like a foreign army or something, that a country that hates us or whatever. But the last thing I'm going to bring up, thank you for sticking with me, is the swatting. Okay? The swatting that's been going on. Swatting, the action or practice of making a prank call to emergency services in an attempt to bring about the dispatch of a large number of armed police officers to a particular address. Then they find out that when they get there, that it was basically a false call. Okay? Like the boy who cried wolf, right? In a different sense. They're calling, hey, this is happening, help, help, help. So cops come, and now their time has been wasted. So now, cops that are already shorthanded, that can't get to crimes as needed, and now throw in the fact that people are making false calls? Okay, so now bear with me. Here's the last thing I'm going to mention. Are these Palestinian protests, are these rehearsals for an attack on our home soil? I pray to God no. I pray to God I'm wrong. But are they? Could they be? They very well could be. And I sure hope that we're planning and preparing our government, our police, our National Guard, all of it. I hope they're planning it as if it were going to happen. Because it very well could be. Now imagine they all gather at the colleges and uprise again like they did. Have another big, huge, giant mob protest for Palestine on the college campuses. Okay? They basically have their bases now. Okay? They have bases. They have college, big, huge colleges as a base. Now, throw in the fact that these colleges are pretty big colleges and wealthy colleges. Imagine all the kids that could be taken hostage in those colleges. How many kids can be taken hostage in there? Or how many kids could be killed? You know, how many kids could be killed? And these are kids of like probably, you know, wealthy people, you know, politicians or CEOs. You know, some of these colleges are the best colleges in the country. So look at all the targets that could possibly be there. I mean, if the kidnapping came into play, you know, who knows who they'll try to kidnap and hold for ransom. But now throw in the swatting on top of that, along with us not knowing who came across. Now all of a sudden, we're going to have the cops, you know, people call and report all these crimes and stuff, this person's getting robbed, this person's getting burglarized, there's a bomb here, there's a bomb there. So now all of a sudden our cops are running around wild, like, you know, wild goose chases. And while they're doing that, you know, what else is going on, right? Is there, you know, break-ins into the colleges happening? Is there looting happening? Is there bases being set up somewhere? Is there foreign movement happening? Is there a foreign army, you know, breaking into a building that they're going to use as their base, you know, to fight? We don't know. We don't know. Are they going to, you know, use the airports as their base? Are they going to set up checkpoints on our highways and make sure nobody can leave their cities and states? There's no telling what they could do. But if the police are running around rampant, and if this is all just happening at the same time, say the green light call comes in, you know, whoever, you know, the foreign country that hates us says, all right, foreign army, it's a green light. So now all of a sudden they know time to protest, grab the barricades, grab the weapons, grab the masks, grab the bags, grab the stuff, get ready. All of the people, all the IT people, all right, get ready to start interfering with anything along the internet, data breaches, all that type of stuff. Let's mess up the traffic signals. Let's mess up with police transmissions. Let's attack that too, along with the swatting calls. And then on top of that, let's all be planned and ready so we know who we can hold ransom in schools. You know? So my whole point is this. We need to start, thank God Trump is in office because he's starting to do this. But it's gotten so out of control since Biden. He did nothing. Not even arrest one of these people. Yet January 6th turned into, that was supposedly the worst thing in the entire universe that happened. Old people walking around in the Capitol. Mind you, this Palestine group, Muslim type brotherhood group, took over the Capitol on a different day. Also interrupted Senate hearings and everything. None of them were arrested, and that was fine. Plus, there weren't 26 undercover FBI agents in the crowd. So, were the FBI agents, pushing the January 6th people into, come on, like agitators, like, hey, come on, let's go in, come on. We don't know, Why didn't the undercover FBI agents stop it before it even got to that point, if they were there, right? Why didn't Pelosi allow the 10,000 National Guard troops to be there when Trump offered it to her 3 days in advance? Why did all these communications not get passed along to, like, the Capitol Chief of the Police? And why did all the information not get shared between them? You know, a lot of dropped balls, seemingly coincidental, not coincidental. So, anyways, America, be safe. These college campus protests, they scare me. The swatting, I fear an attack. I fear an attack. I hope it doesn't happen, but I really do fear an all-out organized attack. They've experimented with this already. BLM riots, the protests they've already been doing on the campuses, the defunding the police, the demonizing the police. Criminals are braver than ever because they just don't feel like they're going to get thrown in jail for anything. They just feel like they're going to get let out over and over and over. A friend of mine literally had his car stolen the other day at a baseball game. Luckily, the parking agents saw something, and they ended up running away. So when we went out to the parking lot, my friend's car was running. And then I found out the cops had one of them, not the driver, but the other one. And they said they let him go. I said, what do you mean you let him go? Yeah, they let him go. Well, you couldn't take him in and interrogate him and see, maybe, try to get the other guy's name that way? No, they let him go. So, these criminals are running around like not afraid at all. So, throw in all of what I've been saying, along with the fact that criminals are feeling awfully empowered and no resistance, being given, since, except now that Trump's in office. But still, sanctuary cities are still not obeying it. And then the way the Democrat politicians have been talking lately, it sounds like they want this to happen. They want, Musk is the devil, he's a Nazi, and it's like, this man's just trying to help, get our budget in order, for crying out loud, so our country doesn't go bankrupt. I mean, I'm pretty sure we don't have to hate and want to kill the man for that. And Trump's just trying to get our country back in order, get jobs here for us. We have all these people, and the 20 million people Biden let in, and no jobs. So, I mean, even if they wanted to say, oh, well, they're going to take the jobs that Americans don't want, and they're going to pick the crops, there's no jobs here. So, why would you let this many people in knowing there's no jobs? And so now Trump's trying to get all these jobs back over here, and the media still blasts them. Non-stop attack him. They don't ever want to say good job on this, good job on that, and it's just bad, and it almost seems like they're working for a different country. It really does, and I wouldn't be surprised. But anyways, everyone, be safe. Please talk about these protests. Talk about being prepared. Have an exit plan if something were to happen. Go to your family's house. Have a gathering place. Talk to your local police if you know them. Just maybe bring these questions up. Like, hey, are you guys prepared? Have you heard of anything? What would you do if this were to happen on college campuses? How would you protect our kids? How would you manage that if this were to happen? And how are you going to make sure that something doesn't happen like this? They've already broken into colleges and got in there successfully. They've held, I believe, a maintenance worker hostage already. So, yeah. What's to say they're not going to let this just die down and blow over for a minute and then all of a sudden pop up and do it again? So, anyways, be safe, everybody. Again, my station is Conspiracy Truth Paranoia. Give me a thumbs up on this if you can. I don't get many thumbs up. I don't get many views. But I'm trying. And so if anything, give me a mercy subscription and a thumbs up. And give me your comment below. And I'd love to hear what you got to say. Listen, I love all. I just go by what I see. I treat everybody the way I want to be treated. I don't hate anybody. Of course, I get mad and might hate somebody if they do something wrong to me. Yeah. I'm not going to like somebody if they're, threatening me or coming after me or doing me harm, or doing my country harm for that matter, So, yeah, so please don't attack me on that, Legal immigration, I'm all for that. People that come over here, right? And if you did come here illegally, but you're working and you've been helping, that's another story. And I believe Trump's going to consider that. He's not just going to say, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. I think he's more focused on the last 4 years of what went on there. And I don't think he's going to be focusing on, productive families that are actually contributing to our society. He wants the ones that are draining our resources, not working, not, for the better of society, committing multiple crimes, putting us in danger as opposed to being an asset, okay? So again, don't attack me for my immigration. I just want legal immigration. I respect my country and our beliefs and God, and I don't want to see our country change. I don't mind change, but I don't want to see our country go down the route and become a communist country, and then we're just no better than Venezuela or all these other countries where the very, very rich and everybody else is poor. That would break my heart if I saw that happen. So we don't want that. And if you're in America, you shouldn't want it either. And that's the way I feel. All right, everyone. Thank you, friends. Have a great day. Again, thank you for listening. And please listen again. Share my other videos. Take a view. Like I said, some of the stuff you might find a little offensive. I just kind of say it the way it is. And I don't mean any harm. It's just the way I talk, and the way I put things out there, because I just want them to be examined, because I'm so tired of being lied to, and the numbers lying to us, the media, all that stuff. And sometimes you just have to bring things up, to where, you're just sick of the BS, right? But we can't allow all this BS to make us not want to be invested in it anymore, because I feel like they want to scare us off, make us not want to watch news ever, so we never look at them and see what they're doing. They don't want us to watch them. They want us to not pay attention to them so they can continue to do what they've been doing, stuff their pockets or whatever they're doing. But stay focused in your community, be aware, fight for your safety of your community, the good of your community, the jobs, the wages, everything. And let's all be safe, live together, and love each other. All right, everyone. Have a great one. See you next time.